Insane job demands. They're out there. You don't have to look too hard to find them.
Our grocery store is hiring for the position of bagger. You need to have 10, preferably 15, years of experience and a master's degree. This McDonald's is looking for a team member. You need to have a bachelor's degree in culinary arts. And, wait for it pays $9 an hour. We are looking for a full-time heart surgeon. You will be working 100 hours a week. This job is unpaid, but you will be rich in experience.
U.S. employers' job demands, they're becoming insane. Not all of them, but there's plenty of them out there. They say it's a combination of market conditions, um, outdated hiring practices, and organizational inefficiencies. Sometimes it's a deliberate filtering method because they're receiving a large volume of applicants. And we've seen a bunch of that. Market competition factors, overwhelming applicant volume. With the rise of easily online applications and remote work, many job postings attract hundreds or even thousands of applicants. Setting rigid or excessive requirements, even for entry-level positions, become a surefire way for human resources to filter out the vast majority of these resumes. The skills gap. Employers are thinking there's a skills gap out there. Many employers claim there's a skills gap despite high unemployment in some sectors. This is partly due to misalignment when employers' needs for specific skills are they're not met by the available workforce. Now that I'm not buying. Right now, there are more people looking for work than there are available jobs, and they're wanting to say that, hey, we don't have enough skilled workforce. So there's plenty of tech people out there that are dying to find a job. They've been laid off for 6 months to a year. I'm not quite buying that. The other reason for the skills gap paradox is educational systems struggle to keep up with the rapidly evolving industries such as technology. Okay, technology's always been rapidly evolving, so it's nothing new for them to deal with. It's more of the educational systems. They need a complete overhaul. That's their real problem. And competition from top talent. In a high talent market, employers must create a wish list of ideal qualifications to attract the most skilled and experienced professionals. This can have a side effect of discouraging qualified candidates who don't even meet every single criteria that not even bother to apply. That wish list, that's nothing new either. That's been around a while. I always tell recruiters what their client is looking for is they want the heart surgeon and the brain surgeon wrapped up in one person, as if that's a reality. If you truly were a heart surgeon, you're not going to be a brain surgeon, vice versa. But that's what the clients are looking for. The recruiters receive this wish list from their client and they say, we want this guy to be able to do all this. Not the jack of all trades. They want you to be the master of all trades. They're only going to pay you one salary. Yeah, they're only going to pay you salary of one position. Great.
Entry-level job requirements have gotten out of hand. You decide to break into a new industry, and all the entry-level jobs say requires 5 years experience and must have a college degree. It's entry-level, so we're going to pay you shit. How do you break in? You apply anyway. Just fill it out and send it in. Look, 90% of the time, that crap is not even added by the hiring manager. It's somewhere else. They just stick the standard de facto bottom on the job description. Ignore it. If it's something that you know you want to get into, apply anyway. And businesses, first off, get rid of all the college requirements and get rid of your years' experience. You know it's not true. You're looking for people that can come in and execute. If it's entry level, you're looking to train people. Me and you both know that years of experience doesn't really equal much. Somebody with 5 years experience that's only worked at one company their entire time will have a lot less experience in the market than someone with 2 years experience. Get rid of the things, apply anyway, and let's get entry level jobs back like they're supposed to be.
We talk about the BS of networking. It proves nothing to get a referral from someone you don't even really know. It needs to stop. Yeah, networking lots of times. To me, I mean, it could be a useful thing, but networking, it's really a be used game. Use and be used. You're going to keep a contact with someone you might not really know, barely worked with at the last place of employment for you, and yet you're going to hold into the contact info because you want them to put in a good word from you for you, or possibly hit them up in a year or two when you're unemployed and looking for work. Used and be used. Well, at least it's a fair exchange. Nepotism, we all know about that. It's who you know, not what you know. Outdated and inefficient hiring practices. Credential inflation. In many industries, employers have inflated the required qualifications for a role over time. For example, a job that once required an associate's degree may require a bachelor's or a master's degree. Go explain that one. Associate's degree was good enough before. Why you got to up it to a bachelor's? Generic or copy-pasted job descriptions. Oh, I've seen those. I'm sure you guys have too. Many companies reuse the same job description, often copying a template for a senior level position for a more junior level. This can lead to an absurd entry level postings that require 3 or more years of experience. Yes, that's what we're seeing right now. Hey, I'm not applying for this entry level job. I just graduated last June. I'm ready to get into the workforce and start my career. They look at the job requirements and requires 3 years experience for an entry level job. Entry level requires 3 years experience. Make that make sense. Then you have over-reliance on automated filtering. Applicant tracking systems automatically filter candidates based on keywords and specific criteria. To avoid being discarded, employers may stuff job descriptions with every possible keyword, creating an intimidating list of requirements that no single person is expected to meet. Yes, the ATS. You've heard about those. You got the recruiters out there, you got HR. They run the resumes through the ATS, filtering out probably some damn good candidates because they didn't have the right keyword. Yeah, that's where we're at. It's no longer you meet someone face to face, have a conversation, take it from there. No, what do we got now? We got your number 892, faceless, nameless candidate, ran you through the ATS, and will spit you out if you don't have the right keywords. And it doesn't matter about your experience, you as a person, what you can bring to the table, the value you can provide to the company. No. You get the right keywords. That's what it's all about. Then we have internal hiring policies. And I have mentioned this before. Some positions are posted externally with the rigorous requirements, even when the company has already decided to hire an internal candidate. The external posting serves as a formality to comply with hiring rules and gives the illusion of a fair process. Exactly, the illusion of a fair process. They never intended to hire any of you guys out there in LinkedIn. No. Sally in the office. They pegged her months ago for that position. They just gotta follow the rules.
I got the craziest job contract from the employer the other day after an interview. She was like so interested in hiring me. And she said, okay, I'm going to send the contract over. You should sign it so that you can come in and like meet everybody. So I got super excited because this is like basically my first job in my field in New York. And then I get the contract and I was about to sign it. And my husband was like, oh no, you should really read the contract and read all the fine print. And then I read the contract and it basically says that I have to give her a 90-day notice before quitting my job and she can fire me at any time. The work hour is minimum of 40 hours a week. And after 40 hours, I don't get overtime pay. Major holidays off, but I have to be on call. And if I get called in, I don't get overtime pay. And oh yeah, blackout time for vacation from March to freaking August, which means I can't go on vacation from March to August, then I can't have days off between then. And oh, while I have to give her 90-day notice, she can fire me at any time for any cause and I cannot sue her. And
Comment for that video says she ghosted you because you questioned her. She needs someone afraid to say anything. Yeah. Now that's an example of crazy job demands. You hear that? That employer pretty much wants that woman's soul. She has to give a 90-day notice. She's going to quit. And oh, you can't go on vacation and during the entire peak vacation months of the year, March to August. No OT, blah, 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 blah. Forget that. You got to be out of your mind if you're going to accept those terms. Huh? That's where we're at. Insane job demands.
Tell me why a part-time receptionist job, a part-time, requires a bachelor's degree? A bachelor's degree. What is that? And they pays 14 to 15 an hour. But it requires a bachelor's degree? This is a joke. Life is a joke.
Got my here. I've been seeing customer service rep jobs, and they're wanting a bachelor's. For what? Talk to people? They got that experience. Yeah, you need a bachelor's degree for a customer service rep job, or even or the receptionist job, where you talk to people all day. Your skills requirements for the position is very minimal. It's something they could probably teach you on the first day of the job, and yet they want a bachelor's degree. Okay, so you're gonna go out and get that degree, you're gonna go on student loan debt, and is that little job gonna be able to pay off that student loan debt? Probably not. And talking to people in the real world, there's experience you would need for a customer service rep job. You don't go to college to get a degree as a customer service rep. That's low level. That's a low level job. Just talk to people in the real world. You're not used to do. That leads us to the misaligned management expectations. Hiring without a training budget. In an effort to cut costs and reduce time to hire, companies are often unwilling or unable to provide robust training for new employees. They compensate by demanding that the new hires possess a wide range of skills and experience on day one, expecting them to start contributing immediately but after onboarding. So they want you to hit the ground one. They want you to hit the ground running on day one. On day one, you could have great experience and skills for the job. But you start a new job, it's a new company, it's a new environment. It doesn't matter if it's a similar position that we just had. Every company has their own environment, how they do things. So you might have done it way one over on your last job, but on the new job, they might do it way two, something different. You still got to learn the ropes. There's going to be a format. There's going to be internal processes. They have policies in place. So hit the ground running. You can for some actual process. Like, hey, we need you to do X, Y, and Z. It's like, oh, yeah, I've done X, Y, and Z at my last job. Sure, you could do that, but how do you want it? The format. Those are going to be different. There has to be some level of training. If not, the employer is inviting problems, is what they're doing. Because they're creating this environment in which the opportunity to have the new employee cause more damage than be valuable, it's high. Hey, John, yeah, why don't you go and do such and such? Yeah, we need that done by the end of the week. All right, and any way you want me to do it, you got a format, you got training manual and processes, a standard operating procedure. That's typically what people would use, an SOP. No, forget SOPs and all that. You just do it the way you think is best. Right. Okay, so John, he feels empowered. Man, I just got this new job. They give me all this responsibility and the freedom to do it as I please. And so John goes off and knocks that project out the way he pleases. And when it's come time to present it to boss man, it's not good. Boss man's disappointed. It's like, John, we don't do that shit. I'm gonna have to let you go. Or, hey, John, did you do this when you were completing that project? Yeah, I did that. Oh, well, you know what you did? You broke X, Y, and Z. So I need you to clean that up, man. You're gonna, we're gonna give you a different test for next week. What are they gonna do? They're gonna look. It's gonna look bad for you. They're going to frown upon you because now their view of you has just been diminished, been reduced, not by your fault, nothing you've done. You did what they told you to do. They're just judging you off of what they told you and what they expected. And there's a difference because they obviously expect you to be a mind reader and be omniscient on all the SOP and all the culture of your new job, your environment. That's what you've been like 10 years. That's what's insane. These employers have these high expectations that are completely unrealistic because you haven't worked there for 5 years. You don't know these people. You don't know how to get things done. And then they give you the freedom to do it. You do it the wrong way. You're going to be penalized for that. So they're going to reduce you, minimize your position, throw you a few peanuts, and that's it. Because you did exactly what they wanted you to do. You did it your way because that's the freedom they gave you. They gave you no direction. So they put you in a horrible position. So either you get canned or you get diminished and felt like crap and you probably want to quit anyway. Either way, it sucks. Misunderstanding the role. A hiring manager may have an unrealistic or incomplete understanding of the day-to-day duties of the position. That results in a job description that poorly reflects the actual requirements. Yeah, because of the wrong person. Well, the wrong person. If you're going to be writing a job description that you're going to post out there, you want recruiters to go headhunt for some candidates. You should be talking to the person that works that job or a very similar position. So say, hey, here's what we do. Have a conversation with them, have a conversation with that person, develop the description for the job that you want to search and find a candidate for. Seems like common sense. But common sense these days, yeah, it's not so common. Fear of making the wrong hire. Wow. After everything else you've done wrong, the employer's fearful of making the wrong hire. In a high-stakes hiring environment, managers may pad the job requirements to minimize the risk of a bad hire, even if the criteria are not strictly necessary to succeed in the role. So after all this, the employer is fearful of hiring the wrong person. You could hire the right person, but if you just put in a position I just described, you're not going to think much of that guy anyway. And if he's the perfect candidate, the person you've been looking for, and you found him, and you hired him, and then you don't like him because you let them do whatever they want. They didn't do it your way, the right way. It's crazy.
I couldn't agree more with this comment. Some of the job requirements are absolutely insane. But I want you to keep in mind, I've said it before, and you can use AI or your common sense, whatever you want to do. If you are minimally qualified for that job, let's throw a ballpark number, 60%, somewhere in that range, apply for that job. I've seen far too many people look at a job requirement, look at their resume and say, I'm not qualified to do that. Really, they are. Tweak your resume the best you can and apply. A lot of the times, these are just wish lists from recruiters about all the things that they would want. And it isn't coming from the recruiter. It might be coming from a hiring manager who's copied a bunch of things from other places. Who knows where it's coming from? But my point is, you want to apply for those jobs anyway. If it's something that you think you can do, absolutely apply. Seen far too many people pass on a job because they think, oh, it requires a cert and I don't have it. When in reality, it's more of a nice to have and that would have been cool, but they actually would have hired you because you do have the skills and the certifications to actually do that. So don't pass on something just because you think you're not a match. If you're in the ballpark, I would absolutely 100% apply for that. I was not a 100% match at all for the role I'm in. They were looking for a senior security engineer. And at best, at the time, I was a junior. And they tweaked the role because they liked me. Thankfully, they liked me enough that they hired me to do that. Had I looked at that and said, senior, I'm not a senior, I'm not going to take that job, I would not be where I'm at today.
Yeah, that's it. As mentioned, go for it, even if you're not fully qualified. Absolutely. Because this job market is trash. The job demands, they are insane. It's something we've never seen before at this level. There's no logic, reason. You can't really put two and two together and make sense out of this. What we have now is the perfect storm of insanity. If you like the job, you're at least 50, 60% qualified to do it. Why not? Because a lot of this, like he said, and what I discussed today, it's a wish list. It's the heart surgeon, the brain surgeon. Put them together, going to pay you one salary, but we want the master of all trades. That's where we're at, guys. So if you enjoyed this video, I appreciate it if you share, like, and subscribe. And definitely, I want to hear from you guys. What are you seeing out there for insane job demands? Have you applied to a few of them? If so, what was your experience? All right, I'll see you in the next round.